What's good? Let's see. Praise Yah. Praise Yah was good. Welcome in. Thanks for joining me today. So yeah, I want to look at the arranger today and talk about a few ideas I think that would make the workflow better. I'm always like thinking about workflow things, workflow enhancements that will help the creative process move smoother. And why I think that's so important is because, you know, that flow state, that whenever you have like little hindrances that interrupt what you're doing, I think that can really mess up getting the ideas that are inside of you, you know, to be tangible in your MPC. So the Ranger isn't like the main reason why I was excited about MPC 3. And we got sound right. Let's go ahead and make sure we got sound. It looks good on my end. Looks good on my end. Ben, what is good? What is good? Glad you're in here because I know the arranger is like probably the key, the most important thing that really sold you on getting your MPC key 37. But it's not one for me. Like initially years ago when the talk was about arranger, linear arranger, I did want it, but I've nestled myself nicely in there and gotten comfortable with song mode, which I still plan on using song mode. But, you know, I did have the thought, let me try to make a beat in the arranger. What I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna do a little bit beat making, but I'm not gonna like create like a super large sequence. I think if you want to use the arranger in like a traditional DAW format, you would probably just take your bars and just like turn that to like the max, you know, and just create freely. Like I haven't explored that. So, but I'm just arranger because I think, well, yesterday I was looking at it and I started to develop some ideas. I think that would make it better. The workflow, just some little things, you know. And yeah, I'm new to MPC 3 as well. Like my time with it is you know, are possible aware of, but I try down, look around, doing something. Some buffering issues. Try to keep the 3 minutes or more. I'm just gonna look at the so to that, you know. Go ahead and, well, first of all, let's do the house clean. The sounds that I'm gonna be using today. This drum kit is from my sample pack. Stole these sounds over on PayHip. There's a link in the description. It's $10. Support the channel. I also have I have one other kit up there right now. I have a total of 3 kits. I'm gonna let this one load. This is one that I had over on Teespring originally. So it's a vinyl one-shot instruments, has some drums. Everything's raw from vinyl. So you get like key group instruments in there, all sampled from vinyl. So very raw, something to kind of just throw in the mix of other stuff that you're doing. And yeah, so that's that. Go check it out. Link in the description. Let me go ahead and get this overhead up and start talking about these things, these notes that I have here. Sound is good for sure. Thank you. Thank you. SimCity, what is good? It's buffering badly. That's a shame. That is a shame. I'm not sure there's anything I could do about that. Let me make sure. Maybe it'll just clear up on its own. I mean, it's all, I do this all from the mobile network of my phone. So I guess it's dependent on how many people are using the services currently around my area. I think that's how that works. All right, it's okay now? Cool. All right, so number one thing to look at is one thing I find strange is like when you click on the arrangement here, when you click here, this doesn't take you directly to the arranger. It takes you to the grid, and then you got to click arrange. Not too bad, but I think it's a kind of missed opportunity, because if you go in the menu and you look at your arranger, I'm sure there's room for this, since this is a beta, you know, hoping MKII is maybe checking out some people's videos and stuff. But I know that there's a submission form where you can submit certain things, and that might be a more effective way. But I'm pretty sure they check out my videos. I mean, I'm clear. I don't know if they currently do now, but they have in the past, because they've communicated with me a couple years ago. But so if you look at the arrange, where's the arranger icon? See, I put it here. I put it here for a reason, because there seems to be no quick way from the main screen to get to the arranger. So if you look at the icon, the arranger, it's the same icon that's here. And as much as I've tried to click on this, it doesn't take me to the arranger. So if that could be a button, that would be great. The only button that works up here is this, but it's a play button. I'm not sure what. Maybe there's some other functionality of that I don't understand, but I don't really see the purpose of having a play button there. That's kind of redundant when I have a physical play button, right? So maybe if they come out with an MPC 3 model, it'll have like an arrangement button, I'm sure. Maybe they're saving it for that. Maybe it's a business thing, but I don't see why, this can't be. But, the fix is just moving your arrangement icon here, and it's very simple. So that's what I've done. That's the main thing, first of all. And then so when we go into the arranger, one thing that you notice is that this top knob, the first knob, is a dedicated BPM. So the key link will adjust your BPM. That to me isn't super important that I even want a Q link knob for that. So maybe there'd be something better, a better use for that, because also the thing is you can do that here with the big knob if you're selected. All right. And then there's a bit of redundancy. I know that, like, all right, there's some buffering going. So what I would suggest here, this is cool. Like, you can select different things and then have control of different things with the big knob or these buttons. But the opportunity to make this useful as in a navigation tool. So if I select this, I don't have control of changing my tracks here, but that would be perfect, especially since it's an up and down thing and I can go up and down on my tracks. Yes, I could touch them with my finger. It's not a big selection to be using my finger there, and it's not a huge problem, right? But again, like I'm always, if there's a tactile way of doing something, then I'm gonna want to do it that way, right? So let me just get some stuff sequenced in real quick. Make sure my metronome's on. Make sure that let's get this a little better. Went too soon. Sequence that in. That was a little sloppy. Try it again. Okay. So like I got quantize off right now. Let's see if this is my next note. So like if I went down to like a plugin, this is also another, this is a key group from my sample pack that I mentioned earlier. And it's just a one shot, but I recorded this in the SP, did like some vinyl sim stuff and processing in there, and then made key groups for the MPC. But what was I going to talk about here? Okay, it would be nice if there was a quick, and go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong, but if there was a quick way to jump into the pad perform section so I can make sure I'm in key from the arranger. See, like I'm just talking about arrangement improvement. So if I'm on the arrangement here, since these two things have been combined, there's more actions got to take, you know, and it just sounds like first world problems or whatever. But, you know, I'm in the arrangement section. I got to go back to the track section and then go here. And I think we also used to have a pad perform icon, and I don't know if I'm blind. I've been looking at this for a minute and I don't see a pad perform icon in the menu. So if I wanted to put a pad perform icon here, I couldn't, you know. But anyways, you don't have your shortcuts in the arrangement view anyways. There's nothing to see, baby. Go ahead and go eat your food, baby. All right, and I'll be right with you. I'm not going to be long on here. So a pad perform shortcut while you're on an instrument track would be nice. Maybe if, I don't know, if there could be a place for that anywhere up here perhaps, or if there was a shift button. I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that might be, but it would be nice to have that option there. So why does, okay, I already went over that. I think I'd really just have one other thing. So yeah, just not having any visual indicators. Like if you go over to the third Q link, hold on a second. So yeah, okay, let me take that grid off. So like I have option to go onto TC here. So like they've dedicated the third Q link light, I think it's the third one here, to top is your bars. So the last three Q links on this third light here are dedicated to quantization, timing correct, time division, and swing. So this one is on off. So you can see it works when I'm in this screen, but there's no indicator. Like if this were to light up, so I know that it's on or off. Okay, I guess that would be a nice addition. I can see the time divisions change when I turn this knob, but I can't see any swing stuff. So it's like, why even have this stuff here controlling this in this window when it could be dedicated to something else? You know, and I mean, the Q links are set to screen. So like if you turn TC on, it makes sense. If these work for this while you're in this screen. So it's kind of redundant and not very useful to have no visual cue while you're out here. So if it would be possible to dedicate these to something else until you go into this screen. So that's really all I had to say about that. Not a super big one, but I'm just saying like a more efficient use of the Q links and a visual cues and stuff. Like you could have just like out here, like I can turn off. See, but there's no like also consistency here. So I go on this screen and then, well, maybe there is some consistency. No. TC. So like, so on the main screen, it's now my second Q link light rather than my third, which can be a bit confusing jumping from screen to screen, you know? But also, like I was saying, like I could turn quantization on and off here with this knob. So that's even inconsistent as well. It's like I'm using this knob to turn it on and off. That's the third one from the top. And the second Q link light. I'm in the Arranger, well, at least it saves it. That's one thing. See, it jumps. If I go from arrange to main, it jumps back to that Q-Link. But then the inconsistency, this is the light. This is the Q-Link that turns it on and off here rather than this one. So that's a little odd. Let's get But I do like the arrangement window, even if I'm just working with a small amount of bars. I'll usually work in 4 bars, but if this was used for navigation between tracks, that would be super smooth. It's nice to be able to see all the tracks right in front of you and move from track to track. This I like the sound of this granulator. Okay, I think I got an answer, which I probably should have thought of before, about the pad perform thing. I think someone said, who was that? They said that shift 16 levels should take me there. Let's see. So 16 levels doesn't, but if I go shift, or is that a suggestion on how it should work? Let me get up in the chat. I about shared my thoughts on what I think. Just some simple things, like I didn't get too much time. I would have sat down with it more and explored the arranger more, but that's really all I had the time for yesterday. And so I just wanted to come on and share that. Let's see. Use the slide over to get to arranger faster. What do you mean by slide over? This is no longer a slider. Is that what you mean, like in 2.15, where you can slide over the, or is it something to do? I don't know what you mean. I'm assuming you meant the icons here. Let me go back up in the chat a little bit more. See what y'all saying. Okay, Ben, you got a video coming through for the arranger. That's what's up. I will definitely check it out because I need some education. See, that's one thing I haven't figured out. I was gonna go to the menu. If someone could tell me, is like, what is MIDI rec erase even built for? It's this little tab or button that you can highlight. I'm tripping. I don't even know what that's for. But yeah, MIDI editing on the Ranger, I thought was something that would be possible. So it seems like you gotta pull up the little grid view section while you're in the arranger, which I think is cool. I think the arranger is useful, at least for me, just to have those visual cues and stuff when I'm doing my full vocal recordings. So Yeah, like I mean, people should get that, but for me, at least, I'm not super tripping because I like the way that I'm working now. So just arranging with song mode and then making a larger sequence that I can then record my my verses to. Because I'll record my hooks straight to like a 4 bar. Where's my to a 4 bar excuse me sequence. Arranger is a big deal in me finishing music on the MPC. Yeah, that's good, man. I like to hear that. You can turn the arranger to 32 and still only loop 16 at a time. Yeah, that's a cool little function there. It's nice to have that you have Q links so you can set those start and end points of the loop. Sure, SimCity, hope all is well with you, man. Well, that's because it's for editing the track. Let me see. I think, in my opinion, I think it's best to work directly in the arranger. Yeah, man, it's all preference, right? I mean, from your interest in the arranger, I assume, like I was saying earlier, and what you said is you probably make set your bars to a larger amount so that you have the freedom to keep sequencing, right? But for me, I might try that. But just being the fact, I mean, do you have the ability to like? I think that's the thing that it's not my idea, but I hear people talking about. I didn't even know before I got my hands on MPC3 that we don't have blocks, you know, and that was like a really key thing when I was working with Logic, having those blocks. And you know, you could take like if you're working, because you go on a DAW like Logic and there's no, it's not just set to 2 bars until you set it. It's already just like infinite or whatever it is. But you could like create a 4 bar loop if you wanted, and then just click like left click or right click, and you can do like loop infinitely and then just build off of that. Matthew Stratton, what's good? It seems intuitive to take you to arranger from the main mode, for sure. So like, yeah, I don't think there's a way other than making that one of your icons on the left. Oh yeah, just downloaded it yesterday. Okay. Sup, Matthew? Thanks for your helpful videos. No doubt, Matthew's got he's got a wealth of information over there. I want the looper in the sampler. What does that mean? That's kind of wild to have them separate. What would be the benefit of having it in there? I can see your point though. Like, I mean, it's kind of redundant to have a whole separate thing if you could just loop in this in there. But I don't know. Also would like to be able to use a MIDI control while still recording into an audio track. Oh, is that not possible? Well, I mean, with 2.15, I don't think it was possible. Like your MIDI would be. I don't think I've tried that. I know that the like from the pads, the MIDI's disabled if you're on audio track, but that was back when like audio tracks were like in the background where you'd have to tab over. That, you know what, I feel like that should be possible. Like if you have the MIDI controller set to, if you like set your drum track or your plugin track to receive a certain MIDI channel. I know that I did like a stream on this or a video on it because someone had the question is like, can you set it up to have like multiple controllers? I think what I did was I had like a drum program controlling this, and then I had a MIDI controller plugged in controlling a plugin track or an instrument track or a key group track. So that's definitely possible. So I think like investigating with that, you might be able to find the ability to control one channel with the MIDI controller while also recording to the audio. I assume, I don't know. Multitasking now, making the beat and watching the stream. That's some skill, bro. Well, the shift 16 levels thing didn't seem to do anything. Does that work in 2.15 EDub? And Lewis, what is good? Where are we at? Also, where are we at? Does holding a note in a race while playing still delete? I would think so. Let me see. So I'll go up to like my drum track. I believe that's in while it's in overdub, right? I think you got to be in overdub and then yeah. So while in overdub, I'm holding my kick drum down and it has deleted all of them. Yeah, so that works.
Daddy,
yeah, baby. Okay, I'll give you some in a little bit. I'm about to finish, all right? You ate all of it. Wow, I'm impressed.
2 babies.
Uh-huh. 2 babies. Just eat that. All right, let's see. Shift and press delete works. What is that for? Also, hit record while tracks playing deletes notes. Yeah, because if you're not in overdub, then you're replacing the MIDI. Touch the note, then shift delete. So if I was like in here. Let me see. Whoops. Touch the note. Like shift delete. Where was shift delete? Like here. I don't know what you mean then. That doesn't seem to work. Shift plus 16 levels takes you to pad performance. Well, I don't know why that's working for all of you, but it's not working for me. Let me make sure I'm on a bass track. Shift. Oh, I've been pressing full level. Okay, my bad. There you go. There's your answer. So yeah, that works. Or a double click. I like to just do the double click. It's the same as holding shift, but you can do it quicker. All right. Well, that solves that. No need. I mean, I guess that's 2 problems solved. That's the arrangement. Just put your arranger icon there. If you need to get into pad perform, double tap 16 levels or shift 16 levels. But yeah, for me, the main thing is if I could just navigate with these, that would add a nice tactile workflow for me. Do you still have slide over menu icons? Or are you still calling those slide over menu icons? They're just there now, which I like better because I thought the slide over thing was kind of awkward. And one thing to note that's improved is that you can just hold and move these rather than press edit, you know. On MPC Live 2, I have to tap 2 times on 16 level and I'm in. There you go. That's what we just figured out. There's a small tab on the left in Arranger. Oh, okay, so it's a slide over while you're in the Arranger. Okay, yeah. So some of the windows still have that then, I guess. And grid too. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What kind of bug did you find, SimCity? Yeah, the blocks would be great. When you turn on MPC, load new empty project, and then go to load project again, it crashes and freezes. I've had some freezes, I guess you'd call crashes, but just like on power up. Actually happened to me right before I got on here, and it's happened to me like 3 other times. So it'll just freeze on the screen, the intro screen where it says MPC, and then I'll have to do a hard reset, and then it's fine after that. But yeah, JJ Bing 3 was good. Blatantly blatant was good. So did Bolo's stream end and then it just put mine on? That's dope. Okay, let me see. I missed some things that are important. One less icon, one less thing to learn. The more they get things in one area, is the less jumping and screen moving around. My hopes is they lessen the MIDI tracks and give us 16 audio tracks. What is how many MIDI tracks? You get 128 MIDI tracks? That is pretty insane. Like, I don't know who's using all those. Like, I would be happy with 16 tracks total on an MPC. Like, I really don't even use more than 10. But that's one thing I love about this. Like, because I'm just like I was saying, I'm a neat freak. I like the fact this is my template. This is how I'm starting. It might be ending. Like, I might get into like the explode, because I like how the explode works now. And like explode my drums out and my sample chops possibly, because it sends your mute group. So all my sample chops will be sent to its own track. That's lovely. Or I might bring a sample chop in and chop it in the sample editor and create a program from there to create a track, whatever. And then I got like one other instrument, a bass, and I got my vocals already up. Look, that doesn't even take up the whole screen. I just like how that looks. It's just, to me, that's nice. And I think it's pretty interesting too that you can tab over your tracks and then there's your sub mixes. And one thing that years ago I was trying to do, like I have like really oversimplified my production now, but I was getting a lot into automation before, and I wanted to automate like reverbs on my snare and stuff, and I couldn't automate in submixes. And I do believe now, as you can see, you have automation on submixes because it's an actual track now. And I believe you even got it on your mains. So you got, yeah. So that's next level stuff. I don't know how many of y'all are automating. I do remember when I was in music production school, teachers kept harping on saying like the difference between a pro mix and a amateur mix is automation. I don't know, that just stuck with me. So I know I'm pretty amateurish when it comes to my mixes at this point. It's not number one for me. Like I want a good sound for sure, you know. But first of all, I want to make good music, because really you can't polish a turd, right? So I just want to make music, like improve on that and kind of improve on all the other stuff slowly as well. Like the mixing and arranging, and, automation is part of that. It's like the last step before you master and all that. So, let me get back in the chat. But yeah, 128 MIDI tracks is crazy. I don't know who's doing that. J Bing, I don't mind the multiple places as long as I can get there in a button press, for sure. Key ranges everyone forgets about. There is a new key range button, right? We have another page here now in the menu, which is interesting. Key ranges. I have not explored this at all. But this is also a way of like splitting, right? Your keyboard to control different tracks. And that might be also your answer. But I haven't explored it enough to really talk on it. On the blocks thing, they do have locators. Yeah, they're locators. So that's this when you hold shift, right, and set. So, I mean, I pictured that as being just kind of like a note thing. Or so you can jump using that, right? Like jump to a certain section by pressing them, most likely. So that would be for your whole arrangement, right? Setting like your hook and verses and bridge and intro and all that. This is what I do not want to be doing. What is that? Let me see. The new feature will come handy for me with audio tracks. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Quick to erase while it's playing. Okay. hate when this chat window just jumps. Let's see, yeah, I'm just gonna go through this chat and wrap it up. Got some things to take care of today. Shift and on screen. Delete. No highlighter, touch it note. Don't hold it. Okay. There goes my camera for whatever reason. And shift and on screen, click delete. Might have to explore that later. Tail, muting the audio cuts off all the reverb tails and all tails. I already missed my old workflow. Yeah, that should be fixed with the reverb tails for sure. That's weird behavior. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about missing the old workflow. Like, this doesn't change too much of my workflow. I don't think so far. It's just my workflow is pretty simple. So I like the changes and I like the cleaner look. Journaling was good. Now that we got the workaround for mute groups, I think I'm good to go. What was the workaround for mute groups, man? And let's see. Yes, everyone's screen is freezing. Is it at the intro too? On my way home, back in the shop, so I can go home and check out that audio track feature. Craft thing, I was recording audio last night. Didn't even think to change tempo. Wish they would have a tape icon where you can play a playlist of your music to chill with. Sounds interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Be kind of just a little luxury thing. Still don't understand why they wouldn't let new groups work for audio. Oh, mute groups work for audio, but work fine. Wait, what? We'll let new groups work for audio, but work fine for me. Still don't understand why they wouldn't let new groups work for audio. I don't know if you meant mute groups or what. But that's one thing I think to look at, because mute groups weren't a thing. Or not mute groups. Track mutes for audio tracks wasn't a thing before, but do we even have that? So like track mute. So now I can, which is cool. I can mute. And I was almost thinking about getting a separate controller just to, at one point to just mute out my audio tracks. But that's cool. I can do that now from this area. That's cool. I do love, that's one of the main things I love, is that my audio tracks are bunched in with all my other tracks, and I don't have this visual of excess tracks and stuff that I'm not using. That's better. That's way more superior. Oh, you were talking about in the grid view, the shift options. Yeah, go ahead. You can try to peel it. It's pretty soft and easy. Go ahead. Try. Go to the table, though. You don't need to use your mouth. Use your finger.
I can't. They're not working.
Come here and I'll start it for you.
I'll open that part.
Okay, but when you open this, break it apart, okay? And don't eat the whole thing at once. Like, eat it in the little sections. Okay, so there are some grid edit improvements, is what you're saying. That's good. Yeah, we also have disk streaming now. It's not something I have really explored. Something that I really wanted. My idea for the was different though. I just wanted to see it for key groups, or I guess for like overall. But you have an option, right? Like in the pool to select what's streaming and what's not. Shift duplicate, shift copy, cut delete. Okay. These These are new stuff. Shift, duplicate, shift, copy, cut, delete, etc., etc. Najee Harrison, what's good? Thanks for dropping in today. Got to get more comfortable with the grid. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely nice to have the grid. It's not something I spend a lot of time in. Like I always say when the grid comes up is I prefer to work on my performance abilities and getting my timing down than trying to do a lot of edits. But if it's just one little thing, I'll definitely go in there and move it around. Yeah, so I've heard, I haven't tried it yet, but I hear the eight audio track limit is still there. I assume the eight instrument plug-in instruments limitation is still there. I haven't checked. Let us pick whatever 120 combination. Let us cook our MPCs if we please. Yeah, I think it'd be dope if they made the MPCs more customizable, like customizable buttons. Like just have a few blank ones there that you can, maybe with LEDs that you can program, and then it'll have a readout of what it's for. But I don't know if that's business smart for a Kai. That's why you have like the different units. Like the MPCX still has the most knobs and LEDs for that functionality. Like I wish I could customize my Q links to chop the way that I want, but it's not possible, and I think that's a business move. Like I would literally, like having all your Q links with this super fine chopping, it's stupid. It really is. It's dumb. Like if you think about it, like the older MPCs for your sample editing, you were able to hold shift to do a finer tuning. You know, I'm in if I go, whoops. Oh, I should go here. Like, do I really need this fine tuning? And this would also be possible just by a shift. You could shift and fine tune. So like if I had an option, if I were designing this, which I think isn't the business move for a Kai, that's why they got the MPCX. But because in the MPCX, you got 16 Q links, you can do start and end points together. I don't like the shift over. I would have this be my start and have this be my end point, and then shift does a finer tuning. And then I would probably have these be zooms or scrolls, you know? That's what I would do. But of course, it's not necessary. So a Kai can do what they want. That's, you know, that's a better business move for them, because why even complain when you can just, you know, you don't even need key links to chop really. This is definitely not my preference to chop like this. I don't know why, I'm just stubborn. I like to avoid the touchscreen as much as possible. Used 120 tracks weeks ago. It made 16 beats. That's crazy, man. I've never tried that. 1 beat per project for me. Yeah, I imagine it was all jumbled up, man. I can't get like an 8-track to load up correctly. So I'm not gonna, like last stream I was talking about downgrading because I got songs I want to finish. But I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna rework and fix these projects in MPC3, and it wasn't too bad. So, and it also just kind of provided a way for me to learn and navigate and learn MPC3 a little bit better by fixing my projects. Yeah, opening screen freeze seems to be common. There's no 5-minute audio limitation on the arranger. Is that always been for across the whole sequence? Because I remember hearing that was for the audio tracks. 8-layer disk streaming. Yeah, that's crazy. 8 layers is crazy. I still don't like that if I load old beats and use the same drum kit, it's on multiple tracks. It links them all to the first track using the drum kit. Yeah, see, that's the main thing that I went to fix. But all I did was, so say I had this drum kit and then like on the next track, it was a MIDI track. I would go into my project And then you see how you have the project data folder. I would go in there while I'm on the track that's just a MIDI track, and I would go on and load my drum program for that, and then it would replace it. But then one other thing that you would have to do is the IO, because on the MIDI tracks it says send to, and it would send it to like the drum program, the first one. And that's how that works. The MIDI is sending it to this, and then it's triggering it. So you want to turn that off and just load up, you know what I mean? And then you're good. So it's not a too tedious a process to fix some of your projects, unless you got huge projects. Me, I don't. It's like 4 drum tracks at most. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely useful. 8 layers and disk streaming to sample your synths. It was something I was doing before, but I don't really think I'm gonna spend too much time doing any auto sampling anymore. Got other goals at this point. Only thing I'm asking for is to have full features on Arranger, like copy, paste, trim, cut, and most features that are on. Yeah, that's what I thought it had. That's what I thought I had when I first saw. Yeah, 8 plugins and 8 audio tracks are still limited. Phil Will was good. As a beat maker, I have a lot of unfinished projects. Understandable. A lot of us do. You got to challenge yourself to follow through, man. Make yourself deadlines for stuff. I think the problem for me too is like not. Well, for me, the problem always been like not writing the songs and knowing when it's finished. So you need to start your arrangement. Don't leave that session. If you make a dope loop, like 4 bars, whatever you work in, 8 bars, and that's your main idea, start to arrange it, man. Copy it to a new sequence and start removing stuff and creating different sections. The more you procrastinate on that, the more unfinished stuff you're gonna have. Hold Q link button. I don't know if you're referring when I was talking about like chopping, but yeah, I'm pretty sure chopping with the Q links cannot be programmed. My World for Beats LLC, what's up, bro? Is testing out the 3.0 on Key 37. Everything there just have to search around to find what you're used to. Almost everything. Yeah, it's just a different layout, slightly, I think, but the majority of things are still the same. Yeah, you avoid the touchscreen too, as much as possible. Less editing, the better for me. Play the thing till you get it right. Ida, I would love a real good stylus to work with my MPC. Yeah, I was trying that, but there's just some things that you need gestures for, so it almost seems you might use it for certain things, but like when you need to like zoom in or enlarging the notes and all that, you're gonna have to put the stylus down. I don't think they have a stylus that can do that because you need to use your 2 fingers. So go back to your old projects and make bangers. The Shift Put 16 Levels button is for the pad performance. Yes, we got that. How to use a new sequence with the same drum set and samples without loading them again. Just with a new sequence, just copy and across the sequences, your track layout is going to be the same, right? But if you want to make so that's the thing. Like before, this is one thing people are having difficulty with, or they're a little upset about, is that they've changed the way programs work. So if you can't create an empty track. Well, you can create an empty track. Like I can go new track, create a drum track. But from here, I guess I haven't explored this, but I don't believe there's any way. So if I go to track, what is it? Track edit. Where is my track edit at? Where do I have it? mean, I can go, do I put it here? Track view, that's not it. Grid view, track edit. So, yeah, so like, I think they could add this. Like, why not? Like, if I could scroll here and select a different program, but they might have to change the way some things work for that to work. But the workaround is just, instead of creating a new track, I can just, where is it? There's a copy function right here. Just hit the plus. And I've created a new track right next to it that has the same drum kit. And it's referencing the same samples, so it's not like copying your samples again. I don't believe. Yeah, so I don't have double the samples, multiple copies of the samples. But it's its own track, so if I make changes here, say like let me shorten the endpoint here. If you look at track 1, that change isn't made there. In 2.15, if I made a change here, then it would go across all the tracks that have that same program, because it's a different copy. It's a copy, so the settings in the track edit will be unique to that track. In the old days, before it was program edit, so if you changed start points, like I could put new samples on here, right? Like if I hold on. So if I record something here, on this track, it's not on this one. So it's a copy and it's unique, but that's a way, like a workaround of getting it on different tracks. I think it's cool. I like the way that works. So for some people, they're not ready for that. They like for it to go back. I don't think it would be impossible. I don't think it would be impossible. I mean, just like you load up samples to the pool, if you could load up programs to the pool, that might work. What I need is to be able to record directly to the on track using MIDI on the MPC Keys 37. Using the MIDI, record directly to an audio track using the MIDI on MPC Keys 37 into Ableton. I'm not sure what that means. Problem is I can't use MIDI tracks. So you're talking about, yeah, actually using the actual keyboard. Yeah, so that, I guess that, because I was picturing, I don't know why I was picturing, I know you got the Key 37, I was picturing using an external MIDI controller for what you're talking about. Immersive, what's good? Keanu Reed, what up? Like the changes. I do too. You have to solo the audio track too. Okay, well, yeah, since everything is I've caught up on the chat window and I've shared my thoughts on how I think the Ranger can be good or improved. Some of the things, I'm glad I came on. See, that's why I come in. I'm not here to have all the answers, you know? I'm not here to have all the answers. It's YouTube, man. It's about you and about us. So, you know, this has been a process of learning for me. And I'm glad I came on because I learned something too. And it's an exchange. Sometimes I got something to share with y'all. Sometimes I do those tutorials. Sometimes I'm just here to learn. And I think at least 2 of those things I found a solution to. And one other thing, I don't know if it's possible, but it would be nice to be able to navigate tracks using the plus and minus buttons. That's it. I would love that. But other than that, I'm going to wrap it up. It's probably going to be a busy day. Got some phone calls to make. So appreciate y'all. Y'all blessed. Keep on running with your dreams. I'll see y'all next time, hopefully soon. All right.